slide or handle that with a phone call or something like that.
Yeah, you know, I've talked about it before with the way that Adrian Broner, when Rock Nation Sports tried to offer him a contract, you know, and he made the video or the Vine or whatever it was, being really disrespectful and yelling about how he was offended. And it just seems like this is just indicative of how today's people handle business. And I just think that Meek went off, you know, in a bad direction. But maybe this generates, it's either it might help him for his core fans, it might help him with some sales or whatnot, or you know, it could kind of bring his career, it could hurt him. So Maybach Music Group obviously has a lot of issues going on right now with Rick Ross facing some court or some legal troubles. Right. So anything else you out there checking for? I know the J. Cole tour is going on. I'm sure your mom's probably not going to get you a ticket to it.
Nah.
But the tour is going on right now. I forgot who's out there with them.
I think Big Sean might be with him, and then his artist that he put on.
Okay. So, anything else, man? I'm going to get ready to shut this one down. This is just kind of some family business. You know, my nephew might be in the podcast game one day, or you might hear a beat of his, or he might get me a beat that I can use for some show music. So I just wanted to get him on. Like I said, the whole idea was just to look at music through the eyes of a teenager instead of you know, the older crowd that's kind of grown bitter about everything. Right. Just letting them run the discussion. You like Odyssey? I know your dad.
Oh, yeah. Big Odyssey fan now.
I haven't heard much of Odyssey. I heard a little King Los that I thought was pretty hot. You know, my guy is Sky Zoo. That's about the best album that I've heard lately. So other than that, the rest of these guys, I just hear a single there, a single here. Any closing thoughts on that, man? I'm getting ready to shut this one down.
Yeah. Speaking of J. Cole, if you're a J. Cole fan, you probably heard The Badness and Enchanted featuring Omen. His new album just dropped last week, and I really think that that's a really good project. You know, he's another one of those dudes who make their own beats.
Omen?
Yeah.
I haven't heard of him. He out of North Carolina or something, or?
I think he's out of Chicago.
Oh, okay.
And if you check out his project, Elephant Eyes, it's a pretty good project. You know, quality beats and, you know, his rapping.
How many songs on it?
I think he has somewhere from 11 songs on there. Let's see. Yeah, he's got 11 songs on his album.
J. Cole featured on any?
Yes, on his song called Things Change.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, so I'm gonna check that out. You said Omen. Was there another person you said?
Omen, pretty much just Omen, you know.
Okay. Alright. Well, I'm gonna get ready to close the show out. This kind of can just be my entertainment update for the week. I know I've been doing recaps of some different shows. I'm gonna go into some a little more in depth, probably. Be on the lookout for the Hoops and Hops episode, probably dropping Sunday night. Really quickly, just Power comes on tomorrow. I'm gonna be splitting time with that and the ESPN or PBC on ESPN with Danny Swift Garcia's debut fight at 147 versus Paulie Malignaggi. You can check out the podcast I did before this, the Wood Brothers Boxing Barrage. You can check that out there. That's up on the catalog for One Take Podcast Nation. But Power, interesting episode coming up this week. It finally looks like the investigation can move forward. This week's show culminated with Angela finally getting on her game. And at the end of the show, the closing scene, she went over and seduced Ghost after not being too active with him lately. She actually went over to his, he's staying in the hotel right now because he's out of the house. But she went and paid him a visit and kind of seduced him. And then, you know, it kind of led you on to believe that maybe she was a little distraught after Holly decided not to play along and give up any more information on Tommy or Ghost. Ghost actually intervened after they were able to track Holly down in a motel, and Angie went and saw her, but Ghost had already gotten in touch with her for some more money. He was able to get her to kind of cover his tracks a little bit better in terms of Holly explaining to Angie that Ghost was really, and she said it wasn't James or Omari Hardwick, but she also said she really didn't know what Tommy was doing, but she just had to get out of town because after Tommy found out that she spoke with the feds, he didn't want nothing else to do with her. So that's kind of where it is. As the closing scene, Angie was able to get up in the middle of the night and go clone James's phone. So now it looks like, unless, which has kind of been the way it's played out the last few weeks, is it looks like it's really going to be some big drama and the storyline is really going to move along, but then we get to the next episode and it really doesn't go anywhere. So it'll be interesting to see if James has an idea, or Omari Hardwick has an idea that she did something to his phone, and now he has a second phone that he starts using and uses the phone that she's cloned to kind of hide his tracks even further. That's kind of what I'm leaning towards. I'm also beginning to believe, this is just my hunch, holler at me if I'm wrong, at E_pluribus_wood, but I also believe that somebody in the detail, on the in the feds, on the task force, I believe that one of them is passing along information to Lobos. So that's my hunch. Somebody on that team is dirty. Last thing I'll say is this week it looks like 50 Cent will be returning to action. Kanan will be making an appearance this week, and it sounds like he's trying to create a mutiny for the round table for everybody to raise up and cast out Ghost and Tommy. So it looks like things will get further complicated for Ghost this week, with Angie hot on the trail and Kanan trying to rally the troops to overthrow him and Tommy. So that's kind of my brief power update. I'm gonna go on and get out of here. I want to appreciate my nephew, my brother's son, my nephew, sitting in with me tonight to get in this entertainment episode. Little music, gave you some updates on some big announcements in the world of sports. Once again, I tell you every week, for anybody that takes a moment and presses play, thank you 3,000%, like my man B Meek says. And I'm gonna go on and get out of here. Thanks for your time. Peace.